Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TIS. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Kandi in the Gang. Kandi in the Gang has really been like I said in my last previous video. It has really been getting good. These last three episodes, 6, 7, and now we're on 8, and I'm talking about 8. And the title of episode 8, I think, was "Lunch with the Exes." And so, it started off. It started off with showing outside of old lady gang restaurant, and then it went inside where Brian and Philip were talking. And it seems like Philip is warming a little bit up more to Brian than he was before. And so they were talking about the bar and cleaning around the bar, and Brian and Brian and Philip were cleaning up around the bar, and they were talking, and they had like a little nice casual conversation, and then the scene switched to Mama Joyce, Aunt Bertha, and Aunt Nora. I guess it was at Mama Joyce's house, or one of their houses. And Mama Joyce was talking about looking for a date online, and she said, "Aunt Bertha, I'm online looking for a date for you." And Bertha said, "The only way I go out on a date is you come out on one too, Joyce." And Mama Joyce said, "Well, okay." And we gonna get on the computer. And she went and grabbed her laptop computer, Mama Joyce, and went and got on there and started looking. And I was kind of glad that that production did put up both of their profiles, on the screen to show what it was and stuff like that. I'll try to put that little picture in the thing, but it was like I think, as they said, Aunt Bertha was 80 years old, and she was she was spicy or some kind of stuff, and then they put Mama Joyce with some, but I can't remember all of it, but it was a nice little profile of them finding a date. And then it switched to the next scene. Then it switched to the next scene where Shawdrea, June, and Dominique met up at a restaurant together, and so they got to talking, and so they got talking about what happened at the party, and June told Dominique that him and Shawdrea felt some kind of way about the party because they were outside waiting for 30 minutes about the party, and they wanted to know what was going on, and he told Dominique that she was supposed to come out there and let them know what was going on, and she didn't say nothing. And Dominique was saying, "Well, I had to stay inside because I was around there with all my bosses and stuff like that, so I just couldn't come out there and stuff." And he said, "Well, now I don't agree with that." He said, "We came as a group, we should have left as a group," and stuff like that. And he said this ain't gonna happen again. He said, "We come as a group, we're gonna leave as a group." And so Dominique kept on trying to say that that's why she didn't go out there, because she was in there with her bosses, and she didn't think nothing was going to happen or break out anyway. And so she said she said in her confessional, I felt like Shawdrea should have talked to me about this instead of June. Is June gonna be talking to? June gonna be checking all of Shawdrea friends and stuff like that? And so you could tell that Dominique was getting a little bit upset. So they ended the meeting. Dominique said, "Well, I gotta go to work," and she left. And she left the restaurant. And June was looking kind of funny. And then the scene switched to Todd and Patrick talking in the parking lot. And he said, "Oh, hey, how you doing, Todd?" Todd said, "Hey, how you doing, Patrick? What you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm just out there letting these people park their cars and stuff." And then so he said, "Well, he said, I want to talk to you, Patrick, about what went on." He said, "I didn't like the fact that that Shawdrea and June were waiting outside and stuff like that." He said, we all need to have a get together, whereas me and Ken Kandi, you and Safari and Chandrika and June, we all need to get together so people can know each other. He said, yeah, that's what it was. Safari said she didn't. Safari said she didn't want to be around. She didn't want to be around Chandrika. You know, cause me and Chandrika had a thing and stuff like that. So I invited everybody, but I invited everybody, but I didn't know how my lady was gonna feel. You know how you got to do what your lady feels. And he said, yeah, okay. And then Tar said, who is this driving up in this car? And he said, oh, that's Chandrika's man. He said, oh, that's Chandrika's man. He said, yeah. And so June drove up. Some people say it was a used Mercedes Benz. I don't know, but all I know, he had a red bow on the top. And so when he came with the red bow on the top, that's when they mentioned that to Todd, and Todd said yeah, and they introduced themselves, and then June said, what you doing, Chandrika? He called Chandrika. She said, well, I'm working, that's what I'm doing. He said, well, could you come outside and take a little break? And so when she came outside, he showed her the car, and Chandrika was happy, and she had a little bow on. He said, what, you bought me a car? I said, yeah, I bought you a car. The next thing you know, all the rest of the staff coming out of the tour looking, wait a minute, who running the business? Who at the hosting station? And they were saying, oh, it's gonna be Rashard. And then he said, no, Rashard right here. And then she said, oh, thank you. And everybody got to looking in the car, Torin and Brian and all the rest of them. They came out there and looked in the car and walked around the car, and then Tar told Chandrika, you heard him get back to work? She said, yeah, I'm gonna hurry back and get to work. So when Chandrika went back to work, that's when June walked up to Torin and Brian and Rashard. I think it was Torin, Brian, and Rashard. And he said, Chandrika felt some kind of way about the housewarming party. He said, what? He said, Chandrika felt that we shouldn't have been left out there. And I was mad too, because we were left out there for 30 minutes and nobody came out there and said nothing to us. He said, I felt that if we came as a group, we should have left as a group. And then that's when he said, yeah, I didn't like it. And then Torin said, well, it wasn't me, it was on Patrick. Patrick was the one changed the guest list at the last minute, so he didn't tell me nothing about it. He said, well, okay, I'm just saying it shouldn't happen again, and I think that if y'all gonna be Chandrika's friends, y'all should have her back. And then when June left. When June left, Torin said, well, in his confessional, Chandrika should have talked to them about something, not June, if she felt some kind of way. And then right after that, it went to the next scene where Chandrika and Rashard was at the hostess area, and Chandrika said, this look kind of messy right here, and Rashard said, no, it don't look that bad, and then the next thing you know, it switched to Kandi and it switched to Brian having his wig burial, where Rashard and Torin and also Chandrika showed up for the wig burial, and then they were all sitting down talking, and then they were all sitting down talking, and then that's when Torin brought up to Chandrika that Patrick came up, and not Patrick, that June came up and confront them about what happened at the housewarming party, and he told Chandrika that wasn't his fault, and don't be blaming him. And she was saying, well, yeah, June is right. She defended you. What June is right. If we came as a trio and we came as a group, we should have left as a group. And and he was saying, and then he was saying, and then Rashard say, well, on that part, I told Dominique at the housewarming party that she should go out there and check on her friend, and he said, but Dominique stayed in the thing, and then that's when Shawdrea say, well, Torin, you set up the party, you know about the guest list. If you know that me and June weren't on the guest list, you should have told me ahead of time. And that's when Torin said, now, Patrick changed stuff at the last minute, because he did invite you. He invited all of us at the beginning, and so Dominique said, well, I'm tired of this. I don't want to talk about this no more, and stuff like that. And she got up to leave. Let me pause it right quick. I need some. That maintenance man is finally gone. But the part I don't like is the fact that everybody is blaming Torin. Everybody's blaming Torin when this is actually Patrick's fault. But back to the scene. Right after they had their little discussion, Brian came down, he's all black with his hat singing Whom, and they had the church music playing, and he had the wig in the box. And then after he got through going crazy doing his little skit, he took the wig in the wig box out in the backyard and buried the wig. Now that was a good funny scene right there, the wig scene and stuff like that, and then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was when Kandi and Todd and Shawdrea and Patrick went on the the triple date. And then Kandi and Todd arrived first. Then Patrick, then Shawdrea and June, and then Patrick and Safari arrived last. And so they all got together and they were sitting down. And so Kandi brought up about what happened at the party, at the housewarming party. And so Shawdrea said, well, I didn't want to be around a whole lot of people because I didn't know all the people and stuff. And so Kandi did the introduction. She said, well, Safari, this is Shawdrea. Shawdrea, this is Safari. Safari still gave Shawdrea the cold shoulder, and Shawdrea tried to shake her hand and was smiling, and Shawdrea looked funny, and then June didn't say too much or nothing. And then Todd say, that's why I wanted to get y'all together, cause y'all got to learn how to get along, and cause they work together. And they say, oh, you set this up, this triple date. Kandi looked at funny, Todd looked at funny, Patrick didn't say nothing, and Todd said, yeah, it was my idea, and he said, because y'all got to work together, and then June said, well, I want to know, what's the problem Safari have with Shawdrea? Safari said, well, I don't know, y'all. I didn't know Shawdrea, and I didn't know how y'all energy was, and a lot of times it's just normal for the new girl to have something against the old girl. No, it's not normal. If both of y'all that moved on and y'all got other people and y'all dating other people, you shouldn't have a problem with Shawdrea. Shawdrea got a whole new man, and Patrick is supposed to be your man. I think that was an excuse that Safari was making. I think she really don't like Shawdrea because Shawdrea works around Patrick, and also I think she's a little jealous of Shawdrea. Safari is, and so Kandi chimed in and said, yeah, y'all got to get along. Y'all know they work together, and by them working together, they're gonna be around each other a lot. So y'all should learn how to get along. She said that was all right. And then so after that, Todd asked June and Shawdrea how did they meet, and they said, oh, we met on Tinder. And they said, oh, y'all met on Tinder. He said, yeah, we met on Tinder. We made a profile. And then that's when June said he was going through some stuff, and Shawdrea helped him out, and she was a different woman. And he said they got engaged after a month. And then they asked what you call, and then Patrick said, Safari slid in my DMs, and she said, no, you slid in my DMs, Patrick. It was the other way around. And then so Todd said something about said something about you had a profile and you slid in with DMs. He said, is that your real name, Safari? And so I said, no, that's not my real name. Safari is the name, but my real name is Miriam. And everybody looked Miriam. Everybody looked kind of funny. Miriam. She said, "Yeah, her name was Miriam." And then after that, I guess they went to play some games, and then they decided to leave. And then the next scene, let me get to, okay, the next scene was when Philip came in. When Philip came in and asked Don Juan what's going on with the situation about Brandon and Don Juan dating, and then Brandon looked kind of funny, and then Don Juan said, well, and right after that, Dominique walked in and said, oh yeah, we were just talking about you and Brandon, talking about y'all, and Don Juan asked, are you in a relationship with anybody, Dominique? Dominique looked kind of funny, and he looked kind of said, "Yeah, I'm in a relationship. Me and Brandon in a relationship." And then Don Juan said, "Well, you know that's going to be a problem." And Philip said, "Yes, that's going to be a major problem." But he said, "It don't seem like a problem." And Philip said, "It might not seem like a problem until it gets to be a problem. This has to be done right now." And Don Juan said, "Which one of y'all is going to leave this building?" And then Dominique said in a confessional that it should have been Brandon, because he was new and she'd been there for a while and stuff like that. And so after that, it switched to the next scene where Todd went to the barber shop to get his hair done, haircut, and so Patrick decided to walk in and talk to Todd about Safari, and he said, well, you know, man, he said, man, do you like Safari? How do things go? And Todd said, now after she called you a trick, I was looking funny and sideways at her. I didn't know too much. Well, she didn't know too much about people and stuff like that. But I was taken aback by that too. But she's my world, and just bragging on her. And then Todd was looking at him, and then Todd said in his confessional, I have concerns about Dominique. I have concerns about Safari, especially after she called a trick. And Kandi was saying, yeah, I was wondering about that too. And they was both from the confessional. And then it switched back to what Kandi met up with Safari, and she talked to Safari. And she said, Safari, how did you like the triple date? She said, well, it was all right. It was a little bit better when I thought we got to know each other. She said, I was kind of concerned. She said, because after you called Patrick a trick, she said, I'm very protective of Patrick, even though he's my cousin. She said, yeah, I know, but like I said, from his Instagram profile and stuff, the way he was dating all them girls, I thought he was a player, so that's why I called him a trick. And she said, Patrick thinks the world about you. Do you think the same about him? And then it switched back to the scene where Patrick was talking to and he was saying, well, if you think about getting engaged to this girl and you really love this girl, he said, but Patrick, I'm wondering the way you talking how much you love Safari. I'm wondering, does she feel the same way about you? And then it switched back to the scene with Kandi, and Kandi was asking her the same way. She said, well, I do feel that way about her. And I was looking at her, and I was looking at Candi's reaction in the side eye. I don't think Kandi believed it, but I think Kandi just told her that, told her that she like her and she feel alright. She thinks she doing that. But even Kandi said in her confession that she's still gonna be watching Safari and stuff like that. And then it switched to the last and final scene, which was Patrick asking all the ladies in his family, all the ladies that he liked, Kandi, his mama Joyce, and Aunt Bertha about Safari. And then his mama told him that